Hello viewers, welcome to UN College Digital class. In today's class, I am going to discuss about runtime polymorphism in C++. In the previous class of C++, already I have discussed about compile time polymorphism, and in that class I have covered function overloading and operator overloading. Let's start discussion on runtime polymorphism. Runtime polymorphism, it happens when an object's method is invoked or called during runtime rather than during compile time. If the method is invoked during compile time, then that is overloading. But in case of runtime polymorphism, the method is invoked during runtime. This is the difference, major difference in between the compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. Runtime polymorphism is achieved through function overriding, and another way is virtual function. We will discuss later. The function to be called or invoked is established during runtime, and this is called as function overriding. Function overriding occurs when a function of the base class is given a new definition in a derived class. At that time, we can say the base function has been overridden. In case of function overloading, what happens, actually we are using the same function name to name more than one function, okay, and but the prototype is different. But in case of function overriding, the total concept is different. Here we are using the same function prototype and we are defining the function in a different ways in inheritance, okay. And in the base class we are defining a function, and at the derived class also we are defining the same function in our own way, and this concept is called as function overriding. Now I am going to give one example so that you will be clear on the concept of function overriding. In the example of overriding function, I have used class A, and in the public part of class A I have used one show method. Inside the show method I have used only one statement in base class, that's all, and it is all about class A. You can use more methods also here in class A, but only for example purpose, to make it simple, I have used only one method, that is so, okay. Then class B public A, we are using inheritance here. Class B is the derived class, class A is the base class, and in the public part of class B I have used the void show method. You can see that here void show of class A and void show of class B are totally same, okay. But in case of overloading, what happens, the prototype is different, the name is same, function name is same, but the prototype is different. But in overriding, the total prototype of the function including the name are same, void show. And in the base class, I have used the statement in base class inside the void show method. In the derived class, I have used the statement cout in derived class inside the show method. And in the int main method, what I have done, I have just used the object of class B, that is B1. Here B is the derived class as we know, and B1 is the object of the derived class, okay. And when we will call B1.show, here B1 contains, let me explain it by using a pen. Here what happens when we are creating B1 contains or B1 refers the to show method which is in class A and also the another one which is in class B. B1 contains the show method of class A, or B1 refer to the show method of class A and at the same time class B show method. But when we are using B1.show, it will execute this method. It will just ignore this part, okay. Why? Because originally it belongs to this category. For that reason, of course it contains all the elements, or it can refer to this portion, but here it will execute only this person. It will not just ignore this part. Suppose you will call again B1.show, then also it will execute this part, and this particular mechanism is called as function overriding, okay. Here it is a very simple example. Later I will give another example. Okay, I hope that you have got a clear concept on the differences between function overloading and overriding. In case of overloading, the function name is same but the prototype are different. But in case of overriding, the total function name, prototype, everything are same. This is the major difference in between overloading and overriding. And another difference, overloading is implemented during compilation time and overriding is implemented during runtime. Now I am going to discuss about the another ways of implementing runtime polymorphism. It is very interesting, very powerful mechanism, and it is virtual function. Okay, a virtual function is another way of implementing runtime polymorphism in C++. It is a special function defined in a base class and redefined in the derived class. To declare a virtual function, we should use the virtual keyword. The keyword precedes the declaration of the function in the base class. If a virtual function class is inherited, the virtual class redefines the virtual function to suit its need. Now I am going to give example on virtual function so that you will be clear on the concept. In this program, I have used class A. The base class name is class A here. Public part I have used one show method with the keyword virtual, and already I have told that when we are declaring a method, defining a method using the keyword virtual, the function is called as virtual function. Okay. Then inside the show method, I have used only cout base class. Okay, very simple statement I have used. That's all inside the show method. Then in the class B, I have used class B, which is deriving class A. Here the class B is the derived class and class A is the base class. Then in the public part of class B, I have used void show method. You can see here that when we are using a virtual keyword inside the base class, at the same time we are not reusing the virtual keyword in the derived class, automatically the system can understand that it is a virtual function. The virtual keyword only used at the time of defining the function in the base class, not redefining the function in the derived class. Okay. Then in the show method of the derived class, I have used a very simple statement, that is cout derived class. Then that's all. That is all about the base class and derived class. It is all about the inheritance. Then in the main method, what I have done, I have used one class A pointer A. Here A is the object pointer, then class B. B is the object of class B. Then A equal to address of B. Here as A is the base class pointer, a base class pointer can contain the address or can refer to the object of the derived class, but reverse is not true. What is the meaning of this? One base class pointer can refer to the derived class object, but a derived class pointer cannot refer to the base class object. Okay. Then a arrow mark, here you can see that I have used the operator which is used to refer a particular member method or data member of the class, okay, object. Then by using show method, here by using the pointer I have just displayed the show method. That's all about the main method, but I want to explain you one thing here. When we are using particularly these statements, what happens? One B object, let this one is the B object, okay, and let this one is the A pointer of the base class. The A pointer is referring to class B, and when we are using this one, at that time this particular portion will be executed. Derived class show method will be executed. Actually already in the function overriding, when we are calling by using b1 dot so. At that time also the so method is executed. There is no differences in the previous example and here, but so when you are using one base class and number of derived classes, at that time virtual function, this mechanism matters a lot. I will give another example to explain that concept. I hope you have got a basic concept on virtual function. Okay, a virtual function is nothing when a particular function is used with the keyword virtual, that is called as virtual function, and virtual function is implemented in inheritance to implement runtime polymorphism. Now I am going to give another example of overriding so that you will have very clear concept on this. Okay, class base, in the public part I have used void print, then inside the print method I have just displayed a very simple statement base function. Okay, you can add more function, you can add more statements, no problem. Then class derived public base, and inside the derived class what I have done, public void print, and inside the print method I have used cout derived function. Here I want to explain you that here I have used only two classes, one is base, one is derived. Inside the base I have used void print, and also inside the derived I have used void print. So it is function overriding. Okay, and inside the method of base class I have used only one statement, that is base function, and inside the derived class print method I have used only one statement, that is derived function. In the main method what I have done, I have used two object of derived class, that is derived 1 and the second one is derived 2. Next, derived 1 dot print. When we are using derived 1 dot print, what will happen? It will just find out, or it will just call. Let me use the pen. When we are using this statement derived 1 dot print, of course derived 1 and derived 2, suppose these are two objects, which one is derived 1 and another one is 2. These two object contains all the properties of base and all the, this can refer to all the properties of base and derived. Okay, no doubt, but basically they belong to category of this derived class, and for that reason when we are using the statement derived 1 dot print, this print method will be executed. And suppose you want to execute this print method which is of class base, then you can use this strategy, no problem, by using the scope reducer operator. Here you can see that derived 2 dot base scope resolution operator print. It means this particular object will execute this method. I hope you can understand the use of scope resolution operator use with the base class name. Now I am going to give another example where I have used pointer. Okay, already in the previous example of virtual function I have used pointer, but here I want to explain the use of pointer in function overriding. Let me use the pen again. Suppose here you can see that the class base, inside the base class I have used void print in the public part. Then in the print method I have used only the same statement base function, and in the derived class I have used the void print. As void print of base and derived are same, this is function overriding. And in the derived class print method I have used only one statement, that is derived function. Okay, that's all. You can use more function, more statement you can add, no problem. Then here you can see that when we are using derived one, it means that we are creating one object which can refer to both base and which can refer to both derived. It means that it contains all the properties of base and derived. Okay, that's all. Then when we are using base pointer, here you can see that we are using a base pointer and the pointer is referring to derived class object. Yes, it is true. One base class pointer can refer to derived class object, but the reverse is not true. Already I have explained this. So by using base class pointer, you can refer to the derived object, no problem. But when we are using, when we are calling the print method with the reference of the pointer which is pointing to the derived class object, we assume that it will execute the derived class method, but it will execute the base class method. Why? Because base pointer is basically the category of base class. Okay. Of course, it can refer to the derived class object, no problem, but it will ignore the function with the same name in the derived class. It will just it will uh, specify, or it will refer to the function of the base class, and in this way we will get the output base function. I hope you have got a clear concept on this. But in the previous example of virtual function also I have used this particular statement. Okay, and in that case what is the difference between that program and this one? In that program we have got the output of this one, derived class, but here we are getting the output of this one. Actually, when we are using virtual function, it makes the program more flexible. Okay, the base class pointer can point to base class object, the base class pointer can point to the derived class object, everything, no problem. But in case of virtual function, when a base class pointer is pointing to derived class object, it will access or it will refer to all the method or all the member of the derived class. Okay, which is not true here. I hope you have got clear concept of using pointer in the function overriding and runtime polymorphism, virtual function. Now I am going to explain some rules for virtual function. We have to take care of all these rules when we are using virtual function to implement runtime polymorphism. The rules are, the first one is virtual function cannot be static and friend to another class. This is one very important rule. We must take care of this. Virtual function must be accessed using pointers or reference of base class type. Obviously, it is compulsory to be used, pointer to be used. Okay. Base pointer. The function prototype should be same in both base and derived classes. Obviously, because it is implemented on the basis of function overriding, and overriding says that you have to use the same function prototype name in both base and derived class. A class must not have a virtual constructor, but it can have a virtual destructor. They are always defined in the base class and redefined in the derived class. Okay, the virtual function we must always define in the base class and we have to redefine in the derived class. All these are the rules which we must follow at the time of implementing or using virtual function. In this class, we have discussed about runtime polymorphism, we have discussed about function overriding and virtual function. I have explained what are the rules of virtual function. Also, I have explained the function overriding and virtual function using example. I hope that you have got some clear concept on these two important functionality of C++, but still if you have any doubt then please write to me in the comment box so that I can clear your doubt. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great time.